Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Chris Sarapsky. Let's get straight to your headlines. All eyes on Wall Street this afternoon, as it has been all week, as the U.S. prepares for more tariffs from one of its biggest trading partners, China. The country raising levies on goods coming in from the U.S. to 125%, up from the original 84% retaliatory tariff. Meantime, any goods coming into the U.S. from China now being hit with a total tariff rate of 145%. The tit-for-tat tariffs that just keep going up from both countries is impacting Minnesota. Soybean farmers here say that they are trying to keep good relationships with Chinese buyers, especially with planting season around the corner. But right now, farmers say it's a wait-and-see game.
We're just never sure which direction that this is going to go. They are an extremely important trade partner of ours just because of the amount of volume that they take.
I'd say if we don't have something done by the first part of July, it's going to start really affecting us. We're okay with him getting it done, but he's got to get it done very quickly. The farm economy today is very difficult.
For now, negotiations to bring those tariffs down between the two countries, they're not happening, according to trade officials. Soybeans are Minnesota's #1 agricultural export, totaling $2.4 billion in export sales every year. China buys about a quarter of all the soybeans grown in Minnesota. New video today showing the National Transportation Safety Board investigating the wreckage of that deadly helicopter crash in New York City. 6 people died after a sightseeing helicopter appeared to break apart in midair before crashing into the Hudson River. The victims, a family visiting from Spain with 3 children on board, as well as the pilot. NBC's Sam Brock is along the Hudson River with the latest.
The investigation today appears to be in its early stages as the NTSB and the FAA have both launched teams on scene. We're getting new views and videos of what happened in this tragedy yesterday. One of them clearly showing this helicopter breaking apart and falling into the Hudson River. I spoke with the man who shot the video. He says it sounded like parts were just snapping, the tail of the plane, the rotor blades coming apart. There's new video also in this morning that does appear to corroborate that narrative, that the blades are just sort of spinning in the air after the body of the helicopter has already plunged into the icy water. We are also right now learning more about the victims that were on board that tourist helicopter. There are thousands of them a year that fly around New York City. In this case, it was 6 passengers, the pilot, and a couple from Spain. The father was a high-level executive for Siemens Spain, the international company, his wife, and their 3 kids. And as far as trying to recover their bodies, it's just not clear at this point whether they died based on the exposure to the frigid water behind me or it was the impact of the crash. But their flight path total was only about 15 or 16 minutes, according to New York authorities. That helicopter left in the Wall Street area, the downtown heliport, traced the Hudson River behind me, went all the way to the GW Bridge, and was coming back around near Jersey City and Hoboken when this all happened. Now, the person that owns the helicopter company did speak with several publications, including The Telegraph. He said that the pilot in this case was phoning in to say that he needed more fuel. Typically, that takes like 3 minutes. He said 20 minutes elapsed. He wasn't sure what happened, contacted his office, and found out about the crash. He said he is devastated. Every single member of the entire company is devastated. His wife cannot stop crying. Right now, crews are still out there across the river on the New Jersey side, trying to recover as much wreckage as they can. On the West Side Highway here in Manhattan, Sam Brock, NBC News.
New this afternoon, Minnesota State President Bobby Joe Champion firing back at Senate Republicans who are filing an ethics complaint against him. The ethics complaint focuses on legal work Champion performed for the founder of the Minneapolis Violence Prevention Group that would receive $1 million state grant under a bill proposed by Champion. Champion has now requested an advisory opinion from the ethics subcommittee. In a statement, Champion says the conflict of interest rules cover situations that directly benefit individual legislators, and that because his work on the issue happened in the past and was unpaid, there was no potential conflict to disclose, and that he is stepping aside from his role as chairman of the Senate Ethics Committee until the situation is resolved. A major development in the South St. Paul City Council in the last 3 hours. A petition has now been filed to recall Councilmember Pamela Bakken. The group that filed the petition cites an investigation looking into Bakken's in-home daycare. Police are looking into allegations that a child there ingested meth. The recall filing has to be certified by a city clerk before the group can begin gathering signatures to put the issue on the ballot. This week, the federal government announced a plan to send dozens of FBI agents across the country to investigate missing and murdered Indigenous people. It's called Operation Not Forgotten, and Republicans say it is renewing the president's efforts started in his first term. 60 agents are expected here in Minnesota, and Jennifer Hoff explains what that might mean for those impacted.
I don't have the choice of giving up.
For more than a year, Jana Williams has just wanted justice.
We need transparency.
But first, she needs answers about what happened to her niece.
Allison called 911 multiple times. She wanted to live.
Allison Lucier was 47 years old, a mother who struggled with addiction and domestic violence. Her family detailing months of it, alleging the Minneapolis police mishandled the reports, including one Lucier made 12 days before she was found dead in her apartment.
It shouldn't be this way. I'm hoping to God that we can bring transparency and a little bit of just awareness to what is happening here.
Williams demanded an investigation into the department's actions, the city granting a special review last month with an independent auditor she meets with now tomorrow.
Especially for an Indigenous family to have gotten this far, I think speaks volumes.
Data shows Indigenous people go missing or are murdered at much higher rates. The Bureau of Indian Affairs reports 4,200 cases are unsolved. Minnesotans marching to honor them in February. And just this week,
a surge in resources.
The state's Republican Party deputy chair announcing the federal government will send 60 FBI agents here to address these crimes. Called Operation Not Forgotten, Donna Bergstrom is confident in the Trump administration's efforts despite decades of mistrust in law enforcement.
I think the justice that is coming with Operation Not Forgotten is something that our communities are going to welcome. And I think this administration is really poised to work with the people that know the issue and know how to resolve the cases.
The assignment will last 6 months, agents rotating between 10 cities every 90 days. But it's unclear what local cases will be considered. But still, Democratic Senator Mary Kunesh is hopeful.
If we're looking at building trusting relationships or our ability to guide them in whatever experience we have, I think we have a lot to share and a lot to offer to this operation.
A fight to further protect Indigenous people across the country.
It's been a year.
And for Williams to make sure her family isn't forgotten here.
She was crying out for help, and help never came.
Jennifer Hoff reporting there. To be clear, we don't know if the feds will be looking into Lucier's case. Minneapolis police have quit responding to our questions about the case since it was sent over to the Hennepin County Attorney's Office back in June to be considered for charges. Happening right now, a crucial and controversial hearing in Los Angeles for Lyle and Eric Menendez. The pair, convicted of killing their parents in 1989 and are currently serving life with no possibility of parole. They argue they acted in self-defense after enduring years of abuse. Today's hearing will determine whether they remain behind bars or get a chance to be resentenced. The brothers' family is pushing for their freedom, while the current district attorney in LA says the men have not taken full responsibility for the murders. California Governor Gavin Newsom has ordered a parole board review of this case, which could also lead to their sentences being commuted. We're entering severe weather season, and when it hits, it's costly for Minnesota homeowners. A new report out from Insurify shows premiums are projected to jump again. According to the report, insurance is expected to rise 15%. That's an extra $500 a year on average. It's all because we've seen a rise in weather events, causing insurance companies to lose money offering coverage in the state.
We're having bigger storms, we're having these big hailstorms that just cause a lot of claims damage. We're looking to balance having companies in the market, making sure that we have a competitive market because that's better for consumers.
If you have a security system at your home, you might get a discount. Insurance experts say you can also get a discount with a new siding and roofing material that can stand up to hailstorms. Experts recommend understanding your risk in choosing deductibles and premiums and to shop around See what works best for you. Right now, you can apply for TSA PreCheck or Clear at Mall of America. Both programs allow you to get through airport security faster. The PreCheck booth at the mall is open Monday through Saturday from 11 to 7 and then Sunday from 11 to 6. It's located on the main floor near the southeast court. Heads up to all the music heads out there. This Saturday is Record Store Day. The annual spring celebration of local independent shops has grown into a global event over the years, with many stores featuring live music, vendors, and long lines looking for special releases on vinyl. That includes records featuring rare live performances from local legends like Prince and Soul Asylum, along with rare reissues from The Replacements and the Jayhawks. But Scott Farrell, general manager of Down in the Valley, says nostalgia is far from the only thing that has been driving longer and longer lines every year. He says a big shift in pop music has led to a generation shift back to vinyl.
You've got your Taylor Swift. That's going to add a big chunk of people to the line. Charlie XCX, Gracie Abrams, these pop artists that traditionally, maybe 10 years ago, we would never think that we'd be selling pop records. They're some of our top sellers now. On a Saturday, it is very much like in the 90s going to the mall. We're packed with kids in here, and they're buying records and even buying CDs these days, if you believe it.
I don't believe it. If you're looking for details on Record Store Day event near you, or if you're looking for something else to do this weekend, you can scan. Do we have the QR code? There it is. You can scan the QR code right there. Just point your phone camera at it. Because we have a new weekly newsletter called Care Community Connection. And you can go to care11.com/email. That newsletter goes out every Thursday. It's awesome. I highly suggest it. Stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.